Before I joined Cashflow Tribe, I would go to these meetups and nothing really changed. There was no accountability, which is one thing that's really core to Cashflow Tribe. Not only did you have this intense sense of community, but you also had accountability.
I was working for somebody else that was not me. Okay, this 9-to-5 rat race that I'm trapped in, I don't like it. I know something is bigger there for me.
Cashflow Tribe has been some serious practitioner information that I was able to tap into. I knew I needed to take it to a higher level.
Cashflow Tribe was Canadian, and that's what really kind of moved me more towards them. This is exactly the kind of group and people that I want to be part of.
If somebody's losing in one of my deals, I don't want to do the deal. If I cannot have my partners to win on the deal as well, I don't want the deal.
My name is Douglas.
My name is Tish.
My name is Alex, and I am.
And I am.
And I'm Cashflow Tribe.
Cashflow Tribe.
Cashflow Tribe.
Huh.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, depending on where you're tuning in from. Oh, so excited. It is Wednesday, which means this is the Wednesday night masterclass here with Cashflow Tribe. Oh, man, we got some people already coming in. We're so excited. We got Tanya, Harry. Good to see you guys. We got so many people in tonight. Julian, Mark, Ian. We got Patricia, Jason, Praveen. It's good to see you guys. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know in the comments just so I know. We got Tony, Claudia. What's going on, Nicole, Artie, Danny. Oh, man, it's good. Jan Carpenter, we're all in the building. What's up, Art? Good to see everybody. Mike Hill. All right, let me know what city y'all are in. And while you're letting me know the city, I got to let y'all fill out this poll because I just want to know, just to get an idea, if you are new to Tribe, right? If you're new to Tribe, whether you are a member or not, just let me know where exactly you're in, just so we can get an understanding, because tonight we're going to be talking about money. All right. At the end of the day, we're all about money in terms of making money, figuring out how we can become financially free, accomplish our goals, allow money to be a tool that can allow us to accomplish the things that we're setting before us. And so if you don't know, my name is Daniel. I am the host of the Masterclass, also the host of the pitch that we stream on Fridays. But I got to shout out my man, Vinny. Vinny, unmute yourself. Say hello one time.
Hello, everyone.
He is the myth, the man behind all of the stuff that makes this work. And so definitely want to just shout him out. But I want to shout you guys out too, because at the end of the day, you guys could be doing so many other things. Let's be real. There probably could be a TV show, or there could be maybe even if there's family time, there could be other things that you have to do on your to-do list, but you chose to be on tonight. So I want to congratulate you. And as a result, we want to make sure that we're spending quality time here, giving you what you're looking for. I've been having a lot of conversations, talking to people, and I'm always looking to understand, where are you coming from? What are you looking to do? What is the obstacle? So we can address those things on this call. That's what it's all about. So I see we got about 12% who are not a member. So let me know, guys, if it's a first time, if it's your first time here, I want to know. I know we got a lot of people who are part of Tribe here. So that's really awesome. Kaloum, Harry's from Vancouver. Man, that's awesome. That's awesome, man. Mark Hansen from Southern Alberta. That's awesome. Steve. Yes. Oh, that's good, man. It's good to have you guys on. And so, look, this is going to be about other people's money. We've been having conversations. The market is hot. There's so many things going on. We want to get in on this business and find ways to do deals. And one of the biggest obstacles that we're experiencing is not having the funds. Some of us are saving 20%. Some of us are looking to do all kinds of other ways. But how do we accelerate our growth? By understanding the power of leverage, understand the value of relationships, understand the value of using other people's money. And so there's only one other person that I could think of who has understood this so well over the last decade and more, who's been doing this from day in, day out to this day, of leveraging other people's money to grow his business, to build partnerships, and to do big things. I want to bring on Ben Mirzan. Ben, are you on? Show yourself so we can all see. Come on, man.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. Hey, Daniel, how are you, buddy?
Dude, I'm fantastic. It's so good to have you on here. Are you excited?
I'm always excited, man. I talk a lot, guys. I'm talking a lot, so I'm losing my voice. I'm going to try to preserve it. You hear that little squeak? That's the real estate squeak. That's what happens when you're doing deals all day.
Come on, man. You got to have
everybody,
this
what's going on? Yeah, man. I see we got a whole bunch of people in the comments. Good to see you guys here, and gals. Welcome. Danny B. How can I serve today, man? What can I help with, my brother?
Man, we're going to get right into it. We're talking about other people's money. Shout out to Dwayne LaPierre. Joined about a month ago, but actually joined his annual membership tonight. Shout out to you, man. We've been having conversations, and I'm so glad that you joined and really looking to level up. And this is the whole point. We want you guys to do the same. We got some really cool stuff that we're going to go through. And so I'm just going to go ahead and just pull up the presentation so we can go right through it. All right, so there you go. Thanks, Vinny. Appreciate you. All right, let's get right into it. We're talking about other people's money. For those who don't know, I am the Chief Love Officer at Cashflow Tribe. All right, out of 2,700 members in Tribe. All right, which is a real estate community of people who are looking to invest in real estate, doing deals, building relationship. I was the number 7th to join. That's a really cool feature. Agent 007, right? I'm also the host of The Pitch. I'm looking to put people on to show how you can pitch deals, talk to lenders, which is what we're going to be talking about tonight, right? I'm also part of the council mastermind, and I also have been doing deals since 2019. I want to talk about Ben. My goodness, his resume is getting too long. I don't even know if I can fit it all in. But the reality is, for 21 years old, he has been doing deals. He has been raising a lot of money. He's been flipping a lot of houses. One of the pioneers in the wholesaling game in Canada. And long story short, he has been able to retire by the age of 30, right? And be able to now look back and help other people become financially free, financially independent, and be able to do deals, not just in their local markets, but all over the country. And so he's completed hundreds of deals in Canada, and he's also the co-founder of Cashflow Tribe, along with Matt McKeever. All right, so we're talking about financing. So one of the giveaways I want to give each and every one of you for being on tonight is the Vendor Take Back Mortgages Guide. If this sounds like a foreign language to you, don't worry. With this PDF, we'll give you all the details of understanding what does it mean to do deals, not just on price, but also on terms. What we find in this market is there's so many investors who are just saying, I buy a house with cash, I do this with cash. And a lot of them are just, quite frankly, lying. They don't have the cash to execute the deal. But as a savvy investor, there is alternative ways where you can strike deals based on terms that are a win-win for both you and the seller. This PDF will break it down in great detail. You will be getting this after the call just for attending. Really appreciate each and every one of you guys. All right. So here's our goal. Our goal is very simple. We want to help you get to your first or next deal. And this is going to be done by a series of hops. All right. So in order to do this, I need you to turn off your distractions, put your phone on Do Not Disturb. I need us to focus, get zoned in, get aligned, so we can really extract the most value out of this call. All right. I know Ben, his time is valuable, and I know your time is valuable. So let's get right to business. Let's really put the focus in and make things happen. Okay. So here's a recap for those who are brand new, who have never been on a masterclass before. This is our philosophy. In order to get to the end of the road, we have to take things at one step at a time. In order to do things at one step at a time, we have to break down this big journey of buying a deal into smaller bite sizes. And when we're able to break it down into smaller bite sizes and execute at that pace, it not only gives us confidence, but it builds momentum. And being able to do these small wins will help generate big wins. And before you know it, you will be building momentum to the point where you're doing one deal, two deals, which we'll get into as we talk about this call. So here's a brief recap, all right? We've gone through so many different things, talking about the concept of real estate investing, understanding your personal roadmap to success, building confidence by working on your skills, personal finance and budgeting, understanding the process of purchasing property, how to analyze deals, and make offers. Tonight, we're talking about using other people's money. This is the topic, guys. And I know I've had a lot of conversations, Ben. So many people are looking to talk about how to use other people's money, and I'm excited to get right into this. And so, Ben, I really want to touch on something when it comes to personal finance, all right? There's so many people who want to borrow other people's money, but we're not necessarily asking ourselves, how are we handling our own money? And I know that you've touched on this as far as us being able to be responsible for our own money, because that is one key ingredient to leveraging other people's capital. What is going on in Canada today when it comes to our debt to income ratio, and why is this something important to understand?
Well, Daniel, man, there's a lot of people that are just afraid of money, period. They're afraid of debt because for so long, we've been focused on being consumers. So every time you take on debt, you're buying something you actually don't need. I know that sounds aggressive, but it's true. We use debt for cars and all these different things and big screen TVs. So we have a negative focus on the word debt and credit. The truth is, though, this thing is an accelerator. Debt is either an accelerator of good or bad. You simply have to choose in which direction. I freaking love debt. I think debt is amazing because it lets me accelerate the things that I'm focused on. So intentionality is important, man. When people are intentional and focused on growth, they're buying real estate, they're flipping properties, the debt allows them to do more. When people are focused on their lifestyle, their consumption, improving their level of comfort, the debt will accelerate that. So you're either using debt to accelerate comfort or using debt to accelerate cash flow. So this is where we have to have a really strong conversation. Which one is more important to you? I don't need an answer, by the way. Your actions are the answer. If you've been using debt to accelerate your comfort, that's why you have a bad relationship with debt. It's because there's a monthly payment that happens. Guys, I love debt. I love it. Seriously. Every time I have to pay $1, I'm making $2. And sorry, my voice is froggy, man. I've been talking a lot. So I'll try to keep it concise tonight. But we have to change the relationship to debt and to money. Meaning that if you can't manage the dollar that you have, you're going to have a really hard time trying to ask other people for money with any real level of conviction because you know you've been mismanaging money. So what I would recommend, let's get good at managing a little. If we can get good at managing the money that we got, if you're willing, because that's all it takes is a choice. If you're willing to develop discipline around managing a little bit, then you can have an opportunity to manage much more. We manage millions of dollars today, Daniel. Man, the reason why it looks like I can travel and literally do no real work, friends, because I have so much money moving. We raise capital, we invest capital. Raise capital, invest capital. And it's not even just me. My wife, Andrea, she's now taken over the lending division. She was just on a deal this week, Daniel, where she put money to work. And there's $120,000 of profit in the JV flip that one of our active partners did. Andrea got a check for $44,000 for bringing the money to the deal. Okay? So Emily says, I can actually keep up with you talking at this pace. Emily, you're a rock star. Yeah, happy belated birthday to Andrea. What I'm saying to you guys is this. We have to become responsible. It's easy. If you start winning, if you start being responsible with the little bit that you have, you'll get excited about debt and not fearful. If your relationship to debt is a bad one, well, then that's why we're always scared to borrow. But Ben, I'm afraid to ask for money. I know exactly why. It's because truthfully, you know that you've been mismanaging it. See, that just means you're honest. If you're afraid, you are honest. If you're afraid, you have integrity. If you've been completely reckless and have no fear, you're a sociopath. I ain't giving you $1, right? But if you're afraid and you're honest, then there's a solution. And the solution is to become responsible with money. And if we can help you do that, it becomes amazing. The Joneses, this whole keeping up with the Joneses, most people don't have a clue. They actually don't have a clue. Guys, I know this is an open conversation, but I just came back from hanging out with my buddy, PJ, and PJ, like we're sitting there and there's $4.5 million worth of cars in his little office. I'm talking like a Ferrari Pista, an SV Lamborghini, the Lamborghini truck. And I was just there a couple hours ago here in Miami area. And we're just talking about life and money. And I go, dude, does it scare you to borrow? He's like, no, man, it accelerates. I need as much debt as I can possibly get because he's so responsible with the money that he has. But he's not buying things to keep up with the Joneses. I think there's a big misunderstanding, Daniel. A lot of people, what happens is they see somebody with a Lambo and another guy with a Lambo, or somebody with a Honda, another person with a Honda, or somebody with a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, somebody else with a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and they make assumptions that they're the same. They're not. Guys, I'm the richest guy on my street. I don't want to be in the street where I'm the poorest guy on the street. That means I'm over leveraged. That means I'm investing in the wrong stuff. It's how we do things. And I think there's a very unique opportunity for you guys in Cash Flow Tribe to truly become financial stewards so that when you look back on your life 3 years from now, 5 years from now, you've made really intelligent financial decisions. And the stress, the money stress on your family is different. Who wants to stop stressing about money? Throw a hand up or whatever.
Yeah, put it in the chat as we continue to talk about this, because Ben, it's so important that it really comes down to, once we build confidence in our own personal finance, it gives us that same ability to borrow other people's, because the way you do some things is the way you do other things, right? And so I want to talk about this process of saving to success, right? What you have mentioned is from budgeting and getting on a budget, understanding where your dollars are going, and then saving it. It's not necessarily about saving money for saving money. It's about the discipline, right? That builds confidence, that then allows you to address risk at a higher level of thinking than someone who doesn't have that level of confidence, which puts you in the best position to get the reward, right? And so what is the thing that we should focus on when it comes to our personal finance, when it comes to saving to success?
Well, you got to start with the basics, right? If you're willing to write it down, then it means you take it seriously. Nothing in your head is serious. There's way too many moving parts and way too much dialogue in your mind to make any definitive choice until you write it down. There needs to be written word. So like for me, the budget is so vital. So what I want everybody to do, and what my wife and I did, especially for the first 3 years of marriage, we managed every penny. I know it sounds aggressive, but you got to be aggressive. Dave Ramsey says, live like nobody else today so you can live like nobody else tomorrow. Well, people who succeed budget and plan. It's that simple. If you make $20 an hour, even if it's $800 a week, you need to simply sit down and go, I've made $800. I will spend $500. I'm not even saying you have to necessarily save a ton of money. What I'm saying is initially we have to start measuring. You can't fix what you don't measure. So start measuring what you're doing. And then really start looking at, how do I develop more revenue, more income? See, most of our problems, Daniel, is simple. We're pinching pennies because that's all we got. Guys and girls, you could stop pinching pennies when you finally have more, but you'll never have more until you know how to budget. Right. It's easy, right? I don't care if you make 10 grand a month. If you blow 11, what's the point?
It's a losing game.
You're in stress, man. You're in stress all day, every day. That's not the move. So what I would recommend, folks, is real simple. Doesn't matter if you make $2,000, $500, or $20,000 a month. It has to go on paper. Don't overcomplicate your life. I made $20,000, whatever the number is. Let's say it's $5,000 take home. I made $5,000. Your first goal is simple. Don't spend more. That's it. Don't spend more, especially on your personal stuff. Where you do need to invest is in your business, in you, your mindset, your real estate deals, your business, your marketing, because all of you guys are here to figure out, how do I become successful? And I'll tell you this, real estate is not the answer. Real estate is not the answer. You are the answer. Either you're a success or you're not. Real estate will not help you one iota if you're reckless with money. Real estate won't help you at all if you have no personal discipline. Real estate does nothing for you. You can leverage real estate for good or for bad. I know landlords who have multiple properties and they brag about the number of doors, but they're cash flow negative. Who wants to be there? I don't. I'm not trying to have 10 doors just to be out of pocket $500 every month and the headache of managing 10 strangers I don't really like. I don't like that lifestyle. There's a better way, but I think it starts with this. We have to budget. If we can budget the basics, then you have confidence. And if you have confidence, then other people will want to do business with you. I have confidence because I'm willing to put my own money where my mouth is first. And if I do that, other people want to put their money where my money's at. So Daniel, that's what we got to do, man. Start with the basics.
Absolutely. So guys, I actually have a question for you. I'm going to start the poll here. Here's a question that I like to ask. Is there a difference between losing the bank's money versus losing your parents' money? I want you to put it in the chat, because I really want to see what they say here, Ben, because the reality is there's all kinds of different ways where you can use money to buy real estate. Some people are saving 20% of their own money. Some people are borrowing money from their family. Some people are borrowing money through debt and from people in their network. Maybe it's their colleague, maybe it's people online, whatever the case may be. And I kind of want to see here, as we're kind of waiting for the answers, I see we're getting some responses here. If they perceive money to be different, if it comes from the bank and when it comes from their parents, in terms of if they were not responsible enough to keep it, right? And so now I see there's about 34% that say yes, about 66%, 64. It's kind of changing a little bit, but I can kind of see where it's starting to finalize right around the 35% range, 60% range. So Ben, about the 60% say no, there's no difference. Oh, it's changing now. About 40% say yes, there is a difference. Ben, I need you to speak on this. Is there a difference between the bank's money and the parents and losing your parents' money?
Money's money, guys. The source of money doesn't actually matter. If you have a very responsible viewpoint over money and you have a proper plan B, then it shouldn't matter where you get the money, whether it's the banks, whether it's your families, whether it's your own. But I think what we try to do is we somehow assume that it's riskier from our family because the fallout of us making a bad deal or losing money has got greater consequences. But the truth is simple. I just don't lose money. Oh, Ben, what do you mean you don't lose money? Listen, I'm in an active business. I'm flipping properties. I'm buying real estate. Are there moments where it's going to cost you more on a rehab? Yes. Are there moments where you're going to go ahead and maybe overpay a little bit? Probably. Are there moments where you don't sell it for the price that you want and you got to take a haircut? Yes. But if you have an actual business, a real estate business, there's no reason that over the long term you're losing money. You have a growing enterprise. It is one of the best leverage vehicles out there. You have to have respect for what you're doing. If somebody's saying respect OPM, respect yourself. Hey, I respect me. I respect the people I work with. I respect everything in my life where I'm going to be so responsible. I'm not going to make unnecessary mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, Daniel. But I think we got to get away from the idea that real estate is risky. Real estate isn't a zero-sum game. You're not going to go to real estate and go bankrupt. It's not a level of like immense sacrifice. Real estate is going to enhance everything that you do financially if you simply use common sense. Most people, Daniel, in a hot market, they just forget about common sense. They get so emotionally worked up. They listen to bad advice from stupid people. And then they get into a speculative sport. And they try to pick the bottom and sell the top. And they take the thing of real estate, which is meant to be a wealth builder, and they turn it into a sport. It's not a sport. A duplex is not a football. You can't touch down a duplex, okay? You can't score a triplex, all right? And you definitely can't, like, shoot a fourplex in the net. What I'm saying to you guys is this. It's not a sport. If you respect it, you'll remove the idea that somehow it's gambling, somehow it's a sport, somehow it's going to be a casino. It's not a casino. It's a long-term investment vehicle. Real estate makes money for one sheer fact. Investment over time, compounding, cash flow, appreciation, and debt repayment structure. Those three things in aggregate should give you a return on capital that far exceeds cost of funds. In that manner, you can become wealthy with real estate. Real estate is the number one hedge to inflation. It's the number one hedge. So I think, Daniel, when we take a step back and respect the game, respect real estate, stop treating it like a sport. Stop treating it like it's an in today, gone tomorrow. There's no GME. There's no Wall Street bets in here. If you're looking for action, do yourself a favor. Put 99%, 95% of your money in real estate. Take the 5% of money that you can afford to completely throw down the drain and go buy yourself some GameStop. Excuse me, I have a candy. Go buy yourself some stocks. But I want you to realize this is not an opinion. I'm showing you how to hedge. I'll tell you this, though. If you don't buy real estate, if you fail to buy real estate and you fail to get into the real estate, not only are you missing a massive opportunity, but your money is dying. Your opportunities are dying. You know, people say to me, Ben, I saw the 2009 and 2010 markets too, but you just did stuff and I didn't do stuff. Oh, I shoulda, woulda, coulda. It's easy. If it takes you 10 years to master something, you either start today or you don't. In 10 years from now, you're either a wealthy real estate investor or you're still exactly where you're at today. Because 10 years ago, a lot of people didn't do what they saw was right in front of them. We can blame the economic climate, we can blame ourselves, we can blame everything in the world, but the fundamental truth that nobody wants to hear, woulda, shoulda, coulda, doesn't matter. You didn't. Anything else is a moot point. So my advice and encouragement to you is simple. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Start today. Be intelligent. Take action. Start leveraging money. Guys, there's so much money available. Well, Ben, I don't understand how it works. Of course you don't. Just like I don't understand how astrology works, or I don't understand how to land a plane on Mars. You have to learn it. We have to go to people who know this stuff, and we have to get the right information downloaded. We need to change the software and see what we don't see. It's perspective. Folks, I can raise millions of dollars from a phone, from anywhere I want in Miami, Florida. And you can do the same thing, but not until you decide that you're going to. I'm sitting here at the hotel. I'm at the top floor. Grant Cardone has a chopper. The chopper flew by like 2 hours ago, 10X chopper, right? Do you know what that does to you when you see that stuff? It's freaking awesome. Because you go, okay, there's another person who leveled up even one step higher. So my encouragement to you guys is simple. If you're brand new, you're in the right environment. Just keep moving forward. It's levels of awareness. Keep moving forward and understand how this works. There's so much money available.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a ton of money available, and I think we just really need to give them the truth. We just need to tell them straight up, this is how you do it. If you understand that, it's one thing to understand your mind, but it's a whole other thing to commit to it day in, day out until you see the result, right? And so, Ben, I want to just give them the truth straight up, all right? We need to possess the maturity. It's not about the strategy to raise money. Right? It's not about what kind of real estate we're buying. It's about who is the lender investing in, right? And so we've had several conversations where it's not a math problem. It's a personal development problem. How do we fix this in terms of raising capital and not say it's about a spreadsheet or it's about how many times I need to run numbers through a calculator. It's about fixing your mindset when you approach money, not just from a personal standpoint, but from a relational standpoint when it comes to the people who you're talking to, right? So many people say, well, hey, listen, I need to know all the numbers, all the metrics. I need to do everything before I start asking people. But the funny thing is, those are the people who never actually get to the ask, because at the end of the day, there's going to be a new thing, a new measurement, a new calculator, a new strategy, a new investor, and it's going to be something that's going to stop them, right? And so if we don't become the responsible person that people can come to and invest money, they're going to go to someone else. Ben, you talk about this a lot, and I really think this is something we need to drive home. Everybody who has family members in their lives have some level of money, and they need to invest it somewhere. Ben, I need you to talk to this point and say, how should we understand this? That it needs to be us, not the banks, not the stock market. It needs to be us that they invest in. Why is that important?
Well, listen, you guys are going to get the truth because Daniel asked me to come here. So no holdback here, right? Guys, your family is relying on you. They have equity in their houses. Who's got a house? And in the comments, say, I got a house. And then you can answer or not answer, but who's got at least 50,000 of equity in that house? Most of you, because the market's up a lot. If the money's sitting in the house, that means your confidence is really low. Because if you had access to equity that you could take out of that property and you could invest in more real estate and you don't, you either don't know how or you're too scared to. It's one or the other. That's it. Well, Ben, I send loan to value. The bank won't give me any more. Guys, forget the bank. The bank is one source of capital. If you have equity, it's accessible. Okay? I got 120% loan to value on my house. Right? It's all arbitrary. You either know or you don't know. And if you got a maxed out HELOC, your friends and family don't. Well, Ben, I don't want to borrow from them. It's risky. Then you don't have confidence in what you're doing. But what's the risk in buying a property? Let's say it's worth 400 and you buy it for 380. What's the risk? Well, what if it goes to zero? Well, then everything goes to zero. I think we failed to realize that the modern society in Canada is based on one thing, debt. Canadians have $1.85 of debt for every dollar discretionary income. It's all debt. If I took you back to Romania, my home country, most of you would not have a car. Most of you would not have a house. How many people actually pay cash for everything in Canada? Very, very few. It's debt. You rob Peter to pay Paul. It's a future promise to yourself from tomorrow to today. I'm going to get a mortgage, and in 25 years, I'll pay for it today. But in 25 years, because of appreciation, the thing will go up. So 25 years, it's worth 3 times what I paid for it, and it's paid off. I win twice, right? I get the money to pay it off, which means I own it, and I benefit from the value of home ownership. So my point to you guys and gals is that the strategy, when people go, what's the best strategy? It means they're not ready to do anything. Simple. We're trying to understand more because we're afraid to do. So we want to know because we don't want to act. Some of you guys have bought real estate and you're a beneficiary and you've got something. You're like, how do I buy more? There's always a way around it. But you are the asset. You are the person who needs to either ask for money, raise capital, or not. RSPs, TFSAs. Guys have raised over $31 million non-bank financing. It's sitting right there. Well, Ben, I don't know how to do it. I'll walk you through it. The question is this: how many will actually do it? How many will actually take the most people won't.
Yep.
That's the problem. There's a time and a place when people will act, and it's either under pressure. They have pressure to perform, and it really matters, and there's a pain, so they do something about it. But when you're in the information-seeking phase, we're probably not doing anything. Let's just call it what it is. We're probably going to sit on the sidelines for a long time. So a lot of this stuff is just information.
I gotta real quick. I gotta ask Ben. I'm gonna drop a poll. How are you financing your deals right now? For those who are actually taking action, buying deals, buying real estate, just fill out the polls. Let me see how many of you are doing either savings through joint venture partnerships. You're borrowing debt, even if you're doing RSP or other. I really want to see what this activity looks like because it's so important to see who are we talking to. Are we talking to people who are savers? Are we talking to people who are borrowing JV partnerships? Because this is such an important conversation. We must become a steward of our own money because this is the key to accessing other people's money. Ben, you're a lender, right?
Yeah.
And the reality is, as a lender, you give out money, right?
Yeah.
And so the question that we need to be asking ourselves is, if Ben is giving out money because that's what he does as a lender, why does he give it to someone else and not me? That is the quintessential question, because it's not a question of if our lender's going to lend. That's how they do their business. It's how are they going to lend to you? And if they lend to you, why you over the next person? Right. And so, Ben, how do we separate ourselves from the pack when it comes to being the primary people who receive the money that we raise because of our ability? What does that look like?
Yeah. So the first thing is you got to be prepared. So how many of you guys actually put together a prospectus or like an actual presentation for a lender? So I'm going to walk you through how to do this here. Maybe Danny B, I can turn on the whiteboard real quick. Does that work?
Yeah, sure.
Whiteboard?
Yeah,
okay,
sure.
Cool.
And what we'll also do real quick is do a little role play as well, just so we can give them an example of what it actually looks like.
Yeah. Let's do that. Okay, so you guys can see the whiteboard. Okay, so number one, we got to realize that there's arm's length opportunities, people that are within your circle. Most people never have a big enough network, okay? So the first thing I'm going to ask you guys to do, I'm going to try to spell this out here. Let me see if my mouse writing works. Network. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'll give you guys the strategy. Now, for most people who want to borrow capital, they need a deal, okay? So do you have a deal, yes or no? Okay? Yeah, and by the way, there's a whole course on this. Do you guys have a deal? Do you have a deal opportunity in front of you? So there's two different things. We have to have an opportunity in front of us, and then we can go put money together for it, all right? People say, well, that's chicken and the egg. I mean, how do I do that if I don't have a deal? Well, that's just an excuse. I have no deal is not a reason to not have conversations. So the first thing we need to do is network conversations, right? It looks like this. Hey, if I put a deal together, how much money do you have? Okay. And would you be looking to lend it out? And what are the terms? What are the terms that you're looking for, etc.? Okay. Once you have a deal, it's relatively straightforward. Your job is to connect the dots. Now, RSP, for example, how does the RSP thing work? I'm going to look at this. Nice. Okay. The RSP, you find any person who's not your direct parent, spouse, and you can do what's called an arm's length transaction. See if I can write this in a little bit better. Here we go. Here's one. I'm not necessarily saying you have to go with these guys, but Olympia Trust. You essentially take your money, you move to Olympia, this is a good example, and open a self-registered account, okay? You find somebody who's got the deal. So this is your money, by the way, in Olympia, or somebody else's money. You create an agreement, okay? And what happens is this. You can lend out your own money via the RSP. It stays within, meaning this. You're not actually pulling it out to lend it out. You are simply directing it to where it goes, self-directed, right? So money comes to the lawyer, okay, and then to the borrower. The borrower makes monthly payments right back to the RSP account. So if you look at this, this is one way we can borrow money. There's so much available in RSPs. Who's got RSPs in here? Anybody got RSPs? There's a lot of people with RSP money doing very little with it. Now, if I came to you and said, and you can go up, by the way, to 100% loan to value on this stuff. Yeah, 100% LTV. Well, Ben, the bank only does 80. That's the bank. This is different, okay? So have some kind of deal, and all the terms are negotiable. So Daniel, we could have negotiable. Okay, Daniel, we can decide to do this. All right, we're going to have, Daniel's got 50K in his RSPs. We're going to do a deal for 1 year. Daniel, I'm going to pay you, let's say, 7% interest. Okay, yep. Let's say I'm going to pay you a $500 fee. Okay, we simply draft that up in an agreement. We send it to both lawyers. So Daniel needs a lawyer. I need a lawyer. We open up an account at Olympia Trust, and now we can do lending deals. This is very straightforward. This money is sitting out there. If you want to get access to it, number one, start asking people, do you have an RSP, a TFSA, an RESP? Do you have this? Okay. And if you do, we simply need to get it to somebody like Western Trust, Olympia Trust, what have you, to be able to do self-directed. This is a huge, huge opportunity in Canada that most people just don't see.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first question, Daniel, I always ask for is equity. If you have equity or know somebody with equity, you can leverage that equity in one way or another. And we're not going to be able to get into every strategy here tonight, man. I'm just giving you guys a rundown. But if anybody has equity, it is accessible. Now, here's the crazy part about equity. It's relative, isn't it? What's the fair market value of a property, Daniel?
Man, fair market value of let's go with 125.
No, I'm just gonna say, like, how do you determine fair market value?
Oh, you determine it by looking at the comparables within the area within the last 3 months, probably in this market in the last month, and to really see what are other houses selling for exactly like in that condition.
And what happens to the prices of homes in a bullshit market where it's going up like crazy and people are getting in bidding wars?
Man, you're pretty much up to speculation.
One speculation breeds another. If you get, guys, look, if you're going to get, and I'm giving you some math here, let's say comparable number one goes for 400. Comparable number two, because the market's crazy, goes for 430. And then somebody comes along and pays 450. What's the fair market value now? See, this thing can literally go up. You literally have new fake equity in your property month over month. Somebody comes along who's very desperate and they pay 50 grand more than the other guy did. And it happens 2 more times. You got new equity in your home. This is what we got to realize. It's a leveraging tool. We either leverage or we don't. The game is called the spread, folks, living in the spread. What does it cost you to borrow? Okay. Borrow equals X, and what can you create and what can you invest at equals Y. So long as Y is greater than X, you are living in what I call the healthy spread. So a good example of this is I have funds that I can borrow right now, probably from deals, even from this room, if we decide to pay you guys a healthy return. Let's say 8%. Okay. So I'll give you guys a better example. I'm going to use some people from the audience because you guys are here tonight anyways. Is that cool? I'm going to use Jan. Let's say Jan goes and does an equity pull from her house, and it cost her 4%, right? To go ahead and get a line of credit on her home. I'm going to Jan's going to give me that money, lend it to me. I'm going to pay her 8%, and I'm going to invest the deal into an active JV, into a flip. Those are the easiest ways of doing this. And that should produce for me a 15% return. Look at the flow, right? Look at the flow. So Jan costs 4, and then she makes 8. Positive return for Jan.
That's right.
Cost me 8. I invested 15. So there's levels to this. All right. So that's just a little bit of math. Let me get off this. Is this helpful to everybody? Helpful?
Yeah, this is great. And so, Ben, here's a real practical step that we need to take away. You need to practice having these conversations. Literally what Ben just laid out. You need to talk to your family, your friends, your coworkers, even strangers who you are coming across and you build rapport with. The more you have these conversations is the more it'll come to you naturally when you're approaching people, right? You got to figure out, what does the lender want? Do they want to raise debt? Do they want to give out equity? Do you want to get equity? Right? Ask the questions that will help give you clarity on how to pitch to them, and don't waste their time, because if they're lending, money isn't the issue for them, it's time. And so they want to make sure that they value their time, and they're only talking with people who get to the point, build it relationally, and also do something that's worth their time. So Ben, I'm actually going to do a little role play with you. You're going to be the lender. I'm going to represent everybody watching this call looking to raise capital. All right. So let's get right into this. So I'm gonna give you a call. And I'm gonna say, hello?
Yo.
Hey, Ben, how's it going?
Good, man.
It's good. My name is Daniel. I'm from Cashflow Tribe. Just really connecting with you. Do you have a couple minutes by any chance?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, well, just to get an idea, Ben, I know that you're a lender and you're looking to do deals. I know that you're always looking to do active deals. So I just wanted to get an understanding. How much are you looking to lend? What is the time frame and the return that you're looking for?
Okay, well, I've got money. I've got about 100,000 available. I usually like to make 12%. And, I would lock it up for a year if you have something available with enough equity and the risk is relatively low.
Okay, perfect. So what you're telling me is you have 100,000 ready to go right now. A healthy return for you would be 12%, and you're looking to get your capital back with profit within a year's time or less. Is that right?
Yeah, because I can go ahead and refinance my home or get a line of credit. I'll probably pay 4% or 5%, even at a B lender. So I'm happy to make 12, and I'm sure I can get a term from them for 1 year. So I'd be happy lending it out for 1 year, so my money stays vested in something where I can make a healthy spread.
Okay, Ben. Well, it sounds like we're aligned here. So let me tell you about a deal that I have under contract. Okay, so I have a property here. It costs $90,000. I'm looking to flip the house, right, and to get a $20K profit on the backside. So I can afford, with 12% interest, I can afford to pay that. I do believe that I can execute this deal in about 6 months' time. And listen, I can pay it out sooner and look for a new deal if that interests you, or if it's better for me to wait the whole term, I could pay you a year because I do believe that those numbers would still work for me. And so what I could do is I can send over the documents to you if you're interested. That way we can have more conversation about finalizing this deal. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, so let's kind of whiteboard this real quick. I want to make sure we're on the same page.
Yeah,
so what
absolutely.
you're saying is, so Ben's asking right here. So I have 100,000 that I can get access to. I'm looking for 12% return. Okay, return on capital, and I'd be willing to do it for 12 months term. Daniel has a property. You got a property with equity, you're saying?
That's correct. It's worth 120 as if I wanted to sell it on the market. In my folder, I have comparables to show you all the data, but I have it under contract right now for 90,000. So there's $30,000 of equity right now.
You have it under 90,000. Okay, cool. And what's the fair market value right now? So
fair market value is 120.
Okay, so fair market value equals 120,000. What's the purchase price there?
As far as what I have it under contract or what I'm looking to sell it for?
Yeah.
I have it under contract for 90,000.
Okay, cool. So you need 90 grand to buy this property that's worth 120,000.
That's correct.
Cool. Okay, so couple questions. Number one is this, guys. What's my risk? If I give Daniel 90 on this property worth 120, what's my actual risk? Real question. Well, right away, Daniel was able to capture $30,000 of equity. Am I right? So
That's
Daniel
right.
bails on the deal, me as a lender, is that I get $30,000. There's $30,000 of equity that I can tap into in the event Daniel walks away. $30,000. So the risk is fairly low, right, guys? There's 30 grand this thing would have to drop in value. So there's one thing right here. Daniel got a deal. It's very important to make sure that you're getting a deal when you ask for money. Number two, Daniel just got 30 grand of equity, right? Is he willing to pay me 12 months, 12%?
All day.
Nah, but my bank, Daniel, will give it to me for 2.65693245. I can't pay you 12. Guys, would you pay 12%? Daniel, would you pay 12%?
Every day of the week.
Okay, if he doesn't do the deal. Everybody, guys, listen to me here. So many people want 100% of the grape, meaning they don't want anybody else to win. Okay, I need the whole freaking grape. Here's what they do. They'll never raise money at 12% because, frankly, they're too greedy or too scared to pay somebody else 12. Okay? They'll never raise money at 12, which means they'll never do the deal. So you lost the 30 grand because you weren't willing to pay 12%. This is real life. I know this sounds crazy because you guys are on this call and you're like, this is dumb. I would do this every time. Right, guys? So many people never do this. And how do I know? They never build this relationship. They never actually build this relationship. Right? They never have this combo. So Dan, somebody said, who says it's worth 120 fair market value? Remember, what's the value of a property? Is comparable
sales.
When you go to do an appraisal, guys, and that's what a lot of people will get you to do, an appraisal does the same thing. He pulls sales data and he compares the condition. Okay? They got to be in the same area, right? But he compares the condition, the amenities, etc. And then they'll make adjustments. So when you get comparable sales, it's a basically quick and dirty way of getting an appraisal. An appraisal is theoretically the ultimate third-party valuation of price. So this is a guesstimate. There's actually no such thing as finite value. There's no like determined has to be value. It's an opinion. An appraiser will have one opinion. Another appraiser will have another opinion. So I want you guys to realize real estate in the moment is about two things, supply and demand. And that's what drives price. Okay?
Yep.
Real easy. So today, a house could be worth $400K because that's what people are willing to pay for it. Right? Next year, that same house could be worth $500K. You know why? Just because people are willing to pay more.
Yeah.
Because they're no longer able to find that property at $400K. Is this helping you guys? Yeah, cool. Daniel?
Yeah, man. And I want to really continue through this conversation so you can get an understanding of what this role play would look like. So at this point, I'm now asking, hey, Ben, are there any questions at this time that I can answer as I send over the documents with the comparables and all the information that you're looking for?
One more time, Daniel. Is there any questions?
Yeah, any questions that you kind of wanted to ask that I can answer right now while I'm on the phone with you? I'm going to go ahead and send over the documents. Just wanted to see if there's any questions you had to
All I really want to know, Daniel, always is risk versus reward. You've answered my risk question because I see that there's $30,000 of equity. Guys, as an experienced lender, equity is my risk. That's it, easy. I actually don't even care about Daniel's credit score and all this other stuff. The bank does because, frankly, the bank is not on Daniel's side. The bank wants to mitigate risk as much as possible and treat Daniel like a number. He's answered my risk question, and I have an obvious reward. So, Daniel, no, as long as the due diligence checks, so there's actually a house, and it's as you say it is, there's no major anomalies or no major variables.
So check this out, Ben. This is what you need to say to the lenders. Okay, Ben, that's awesome. So listen, I'm going to send you the pictures, the purchase agreement. I'm going to send you the details of the property along with the estimate should you ever need it. So I'm going to be closing it in about 3 weeks. So I'm going to send it over to you and I'm going to follow up with you around 4 p.m. if you're available, just so we can continue this conversation. Would that be okay if everything else worked out?
Sounds good. By the way, that's how you move a conversation forward. Remove the objection right in the call. Don't leave room for error. Ask the questions. And just say yes or no. Real easy, guys. Real easy. Daniel? Man. Call me in a couple of weeks. We're good to go.
100%. And even look at this, guys. Let's add this in. Now, Ben, there's no pressure. I'm just looking to build a relationship. I understand if there's something about this deal that doesn't align with you, and I can go ahead and make arrangements on this one with someone else and keep you in the loop for future deals should you be interested. Because the reality is, maybe there's going to be a lender who doesn't accept the deal or doesn't like the deal, but you want to be able to build that relationship. Now, Ben, let me ask you this question. If you ended up not doing the deal, but based on how I presented it to you, if I'm calling you in the future for the deal, are you picking up?
If you're calling me with real substance and actual deals on the table, and this is the level of dialogue, yeah, guys, lenders, there's three elements in this world, right? You got time. Just kind of put this out here, right? I like this whiteboard, by this is cool, man. We should do this more. Time, energy, and money. Listen, if I'm a professional lender, the thing I have the least amount of is time. I'm short on time. In fact, Daniel calling me with the real deal is a faster way of me putting my money to work than me out there trying to hunt for deals. Right? Of course, I'm going to take his call. Just don't waste my time. Bring a real deal. Make sure there's enough equity and make sure I understand the risks. And there's one thing simple, guys, you need to understand. There is active lender, okay? Active lender and passive, okay? They're very, very different. Okay? Active means I understand the game and am willing to step in and fix problems. So I don't need a whole lot of dialogue with Daniel. Hey, man, if you screw up, I'm taking your equity. Good? Good?
Good.
Done. Okay? Passive. By the way, passive likely doesn't understand the process of taking a property back and power of sale and doesn't want to, okay? So you'll get a lower price or lower cost of funds from passive. Cool? Everybody cool with that? It might cost you more money with active, but in my case, active equals experienced. So Daniel, there's less questions I have because I've done this. I've done this hundreds of times. I know exactly what my risk is. I know exactly what I have to do if you screw up. I know exactly how to help you so that you can mitigate the opportunities of you screwing up. Okay, folks, I want you to understand that. Go ahead.
Absolutely. All right, and now this is the real takeaway that I want you guys to understand. And Ben, help me validate or invalidate these steps. Guys, you need to set the expectation. Make it very clear up front. Hey, Ben, I'm giving you a call for X. Do you have a minute to talk about it? Right. Number two, give them the details, give them the data. Don't tell them, oh, there was a toilet that kind of broke down, so we're going to be fixing that, and then the roof was leaking in the living room, but it's okay in the family room. None of that matters. What are the numbers? What's his risk and what's his reward? The third thing is stay in agreement. Stay in agreement with the lender the whole time. If there are objections, overcome them, but stay in agreement. And number four, you want to build relationship. Don't be so focused on just one house. Be focused on you, the business model, what you're looking to do over the long term, right? And then you want to repeat this process with several relationships because this is how you grow your network in terms of being able to do deals at a higher level. Ben, is this the right level of thinking? And you and let us know.
In all regards, you should set the expectation. I think it's important. I like every one of these steps. Absolutely. Make sure they know exactly what the risk and reward is. Give them the details. I like to do a one-page, okay? And then if they need additional information because they're a high detail person, then I would like to see additional information on the property. But a one-page summary will at least get me interested. You got to hook people before you close. Staying in agreement with the lender, there's obviously going to be some objections and things. So as a result, you have to be willing and prepared to handle them, okay? Building a relationship is key, frankly. You know, I would frankly like put that at the top of the list. And then repeat. Yeah, so I like this. This is how you raise. We're talking private. If you're trying to go to TD Bank, you're a number at TD Bank. You're a number and you're a program. Private lending, guys, in this capacity is about relationships and future value of opportunities. I'm not looking at a one-time deal. An experienced lender is looking at doing multiple deals. So the partners that we have, we do deals on a recurring basis with. So they get ease of capital and quick access. We funded a deal within 48 hours very recently, and they get quick access to capital and they can grow their business. So it depends on what everybody here is looking for. If you want to work with private lenders, the benefit is that there's a lot lower requirements than trying to work with conventional or B-side lenders or brokers, but you got to be prepared to bring a better level of conversation, and you have to be prepared to build a relationship. You know, if you're not willing to do that, you probably should just stick with the banks and like just follow their process as far as it'll take you.
Absolutely. And so, guys, I really want to ask you all this question. Where are you in your investing journey? Because based on this, it's so important to know what level of action you need to be taking this week. All right. If you're brand new, you're still learning, let me know. If you're an action taker, you're looking to do your first or your next deal, or if you're experienced, let me know in the poll so we know exactly what level of action to take. Ben, I think this talk has been so helpful because the reality is everybody on this call can start having these conversations. There's no reason to wait until January 1st or when you have a property or when you do X. Like, you just need to start talking to people. And this is the best way that you can get to the money. Because if Grant Cardone talks about how obscurity is the number one reason people aren't getting things done. If people don't know you, they can't flow you. It's just the reality, right? And so I knew there's a lot of people who are saying they're action takers. So Ben, I think there's a lot of people who are ready to do stuff. I know there's some people learning, a couple experienced people. So guys, this is the homework. This is what I'm going to have you guys do. You're going to complete the private deals and financing course in cashflowtribe.com. Guys, if you want to understand how to do deals in a hot market where everything's going a million over asking and all of these people are putting in 40 offers, how do you get to the place where you're doing deals? Not only do you do it privately, but you got to understand how to raise the money. Because when you can eliminate the need to go and get into bidding wars and eliminate the need to have to go to the bank when the bank is just one option, you are putting yourself in the green. And so I want you to go through this course. And then as well, Matt McKeever has done a training on how to pitch a deal or a partnership. This is in the courses section as well. Go to the alpha training, and then it's the third teaching there where he goes over specifically how you can break this down even further into its nuts and bolts. So I see there's 66% of y'all that are ready to take action. And so this is a homework. In addition to this, I want you to join this group on cashflowtribe.com. Go to private lending and private lenders. I want you to go into that group, and I need you to start having conversations. Start talking to people. There are people putting up properties. There are people who are looking for money. I need you to dive into those conversations and start building relationships, because that's the only way you're going to get to the money. Remember, you need to practice this with family, with friends, with strangers, with colleagues. You just need to talk to people. And the more people you talk to, the more opportunity to raise the money, right? And so listen, check this out. If Ian Jack, if you're in the comments, let me know, because I had a conversation with him. He said that his hope was to buy his first investment property by the end of the year, by the end of 2021. Now that he's joined Cash Flow Tribe, he's been able to do this in 6 weeks' time. 6 weeks' time. It hasn't, the first quarter of the year isn't even over yet, and he's already accomplished getting his first investment property. And the reality is, it's because he took action. It's because he got it done. Guys, if you are in Cash Flow Tribe, Ian Jack is in there. This is a real person. Go message him, go comment, and go reach out and say, hey, I want to buy my first deal. How do you do it? How did you do it? 66% of you say you're ready to take action, and I need you to do this, because the reality is, when it comes to Cash Flow Tribe, I want the same result for you. And with Cash Flow Tribe, we are big on results. We're big on community, and we're big on transparency. And so if you're ready to take it to the next level, you're ready to take action, I highly encourage you to check out our premium membership. The reason is because you'll get access to the courses. You'll get access to the content that gets you to that deal. Guys, this is just this cream of the crop. The conversation that Ben and I are having right now is just the cream of the crop. I challenge you that when you grab a membership, I challenge you to see how long it'll take for you to get your first deal. Ian Jack, he's in the comments. Ian, to let us know, how was your experience? What made it so fast for you? And let everybody know. The reality is, you can do it too. Remember, guys, it's not about the house. It's not about the numbers. It's about you. And with Cash Flow Tribe, we want you to get to that place where you're doing your next deal. Now, for those who are really looking to commit, really looking to level up, guys, when you get with an annual membership, you are going to be able to get into a room for 2 whole days with Ben, with Matt McKeever, with special guests, all day for 2 days straight, deep diving into several topics in real estate. This is what's going to help you accelerate and get to your goal even faster. If you want to know why some people are getting to their first deal, second deal, third deal in 6 months, rather than taking it the same time in 6 years, it's because they get into these small rooms. So when you get an annual membership, you will have a free ticket to get into there. And as a matter of fact, I really want to just really give you a fast action bonus. If you are signing up and the first person to take action, I'm going to give you $200 cash. $200. That's more than some people get in a cash flow property. $200 for being an action taker and signing up first. First person who does that, you're going to get that cash handed right to you. And so, and the reality is, guys, so many people like Ian Jacker and Cashflow Tribe. We're going to be bringing on more guests who have done deals and really just come back and lift their hand in the tribe to help you guys, because that's what it's all about. The mastermind experience for March is happening at the end of this month. The topic is mastering real estate investing with minimal experience. Guys, I don't know about you, but if this event was here when I first got started, oh my goodness, the amount of deals, the amount of deal flow, the amount of expertise that I've been able to develop, man. And this is the beautiful thing about Cashflow Tribe. We're continually growing. We're continually investing in our people, continually investing in our material so that you can grow faster and stronger, right? And so, guys, in order to do this with the annual, it's not going to be $5,000, which I actually paid, by the way. I actually paid $5,000. It's not going to be $2,500. It's going to be $588 for you when you grab the annual membership, and you'll get the 2-day mastermind ticket. Guys, in April, we're going to be talking about the BRRRR method for 2 days straight. And in the coming months, we're going to be talking about wholesaling. We're going to be talking about other people's money. We're breaking out all these topics and really going deep. This is what it's about. And so the first action taker, you're going to get $200 in cash for taking action. But here's the recap, guys. If you are looking to take action, grab a monthly membership. It's $59 a month. This can be a great investment into your personal development. But if you're looking to really level up and commit, throw in that annual membership, and we will give you that 2-day mastermind ticket to really get you to your goal even faster. Ben, I really wonder how fast we can get people to do the first deal, because it's really amazing when people start taking action. Once they get the knowledge and they start taking action, the results are inevitable, right? And so, but guys, once again, if you are just learning, some of you said you're just learning, go grab a free membership if you haven't already. Come on the Cashflow Tribe, get inundated with our community, check out our content. We just want to continue to help you until you're ready to get to the next level. So we're going to go into a few Q&A, a few questions here that we've been talking about. But like, man, I am so excited for all of you who are going to be taking action. Ian Jack, man, that's awesome. It's what we're all doing here. We're just looking to help other people and make things happen. So Ben, I'm going to go through some questions here that you can answer. Guys, put your QA in the comments, and we're definitely going to announce who's the winner for the cash prize. So Nick Gardner, scrolling down here, it says, if you sell the house in 6 months instead of 12, per the agreement that I made with the lender in that example, are you paying 12 months worth of interest if you agreed on a 1-year term? How would it, Nick? Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, Nick, are you here? Nick, drop us a thumbs up or like a smiley if you're here. So 12 months per annum. Okay, folks. So I'll grab the little whiteboard guy again. So 12%. Okay. We had 12% per year for 12 months. Okay. So that's going to be broken down usually into interest only or interest and principal payments. So I'll do a quick rough math here. You grab my phone here. I believe our original amount, Daniel, was 90 grand,
That's
right?
correct.
That's what you were borrowing.
Yep.
So if we do, guys, and this is non-amortized. There's an amortized calculator in Cashflow Tribe that you guys can use anytime. But otherwise, it's 90,000 times 0.12 divided by 12 is going to equal $900 per month. Okay. So if he's only keeping this thing for 6 months, it's just 900 times 6. So he's going to have made $5,400 in total payments. Okay, Nick, is that good, buddy? All right, man. So it's per year. All right.
That's right.
Per year. Sometimes there'll be what's called an early termination fee, and you might do that as like $1,000 flat fee, or some people do it as 2 to 3 month payments, so that they have 2 to 3 months to go ahead and reinvest that capital. Cool. All right.
Awesome.
And by the way, guys, if you're brand new out of this stuff, let me click that out there. If you're brand new, by the way, who's absolutely brand new? You're not even in Cashflow Tribe. Throw your hand up if you're brand new. If you are,
I know there's some first timers in here.
Okay.
All right. Let me keep going with the questions here. There's some at the bottom, and then we'll catch up to the top. Kay, I think it's Maloisi or Losi. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, but she says, as the lender, do you own the property until the 12th month? What happens on the 13th month? And does Daniel have to go to the bank to get a traditional mortgage instead of if they want to keep the property instead of flipping it? Okay,
cool. So Daniel's got a mortgage, okay? And then Ben over here, he's got a mortgage. He's got the receivable, okay? So meaning that it's like a rental, okay? So I get a monthly payment and Daniel makes that monthly payment. At the end of the 12 months, just like your bank right now, folks, some of you guys have 5-year terms on mortgage. You have 2 options. Option 1, refinance. And that's with anybody. That's with you, somebody else. I've had cases where I refinanced the person, basically giving them more money. Option 2 is a payout. Very few people have enough money to pay out. And option 3 is to renew. So if I don't need the money, Daniel has choices here. I'm more than likely just going to renew him for additional term. So when I do 12-month terms, I typically expect to renew that at least a couple times. All right. So Daniel's going to have some options available to him, but that's something he'll kind of think about in advance. A couple months before the renewal, we'll have a call and he'll say, hey, this is what I need to do. I'm selling, I'm refinancing, I'm paying out, because I guess selling the property is option number 4. And if you didn't overpay when you bought it, the cardinal rule, you should be fine.
100%. Andrew says, when you calculate your return, are you factoring the capital gain will you need to play? So when you calculate your return, are you factoring the capital gains tax? That's essentially the question.
No, I'm not. No, 12% before any tax is paid is how most lenders view it. A lot of people ask about taxes. Most lenders don't really make that much of an emphasis on taxes because they run a professional business lending. So it's probably within a corporation. If you have a professional lender, they have other expenses, other write-offs. It's a business. If it's mom and dad, private individual, depending on the type of income, it's actually going to be labeled as interest income. Okay, interest income. And that could be as high as, 49% on interest related income in Canada currently. Okay. So it depends if they do it in a business or not in a business.
Perfect. And I know Andrew asked again and said, as for me, as the individual flipping the property, it's the same thing. To really keep it short and sweet, like if I'm getting taxed, it's because I'm making money. And I just want to be in that group. The reality is that's the best. That's the simplest way I can really answer that.
Yeah. And everything is dude, any interest you pay is tax deductible anyways. So you have to start do I pay taxes? Yeah. But you also have to deduct the expenses associated with those taxes. So there's 2 sides to the coin, and most people ask about the one side, but nobody asks about the other side, which is what do I get to write off?
Right.
So, obviously advise with your accountant before making decisions.
Yeah, we are not accountants. We're not like the people to go to for this legal expert advice. We're just saying. All right. And so now Kay also says, just for clarification, would you be paying 12% to the lender for the year on top of the monthly mortgage payments, correct?
No. So just to be clear, guys, I'm going to go back to my drawing board. So 12% interest is the monthly mortgage. Okay. So if it's going to be, an interest only loan, actually, you know what? I'll do this, Dan. I'll do an amortized loan. Okay. Which is how your bank factors this. Amortized loan. You guys want me to do an amortized loan? If yes,
let's do it.
Put pretty please in the comments. If you don't put pretty please, I'm not doing it. let me see who's going to do pretty please in the comments.
Come on, man.
I'm actually just trying to save a few seconds while I find the file. I'm going to do it anyways, whether you guys do it or not. But I just need a couple seconds. So you might as well say pretty please. Bing. All right. Anybody say pretty please? Oh, Jason. You rock, Jason. Okay, Caden says pretty please. All right, cool. By the way, this is in Cash Flow Tribe. So if you guys need a reason to get into premium and join premium today, this one calculator is your reason. Daniel, if I give you 90 grand, you guys can see my screen?
Yep.
Yes? Okay, cool, man. If I give you $90,000 and it's 12%, let's say it's a 1-year term. Most amortization periods, the standard in Canada is 25 years. If you look to the right, there's the monthly payment, right? If you look down here, you'll see the loan balance at the end of the term. So you paid $89,000 is still owing. I know it's a lot. This is how much you paid in principal, and this is how much you paid in interest. So you can see month over month exactly how much goes to principal, $50. How much goes to interest, $878. So that's at 12 points. Look what happens when it's 5%. The payment drops to $523. A lot more goes to principal than interest. So just a thought there.
Awesome. I really hope that answers your question there. Manny, we'll take a few more questions before we close it here. Manny says, say you have 20% down payment and the bank will give you a mortgage. Would you still rather borrow the down payment from a private lender?
Would I borrow from a private lender? One more time.
So Manny is saying, let's say you, Ben, have 20% for a down payment and the bank will give you a mortgage based on how they qualify you. Would you rather go with a private lender than go with a bank?
Depends what I'm doing. Am I just buying one property? Guys, if it's cheaper and you're just buying one, go with a bank. That seems like the logical low-cost option. If you want to build a business and buy more, the private lender requires a relationship at some point. So some people max out the bank and then they go to the private lender after that. What I like to do is I went to the bank. They said no. I went right to the private lender and I never went back to the bank. So for all I know, I'm bankable. I just haven't gone back to figure it out.
That's right. And so I think the long and short of it is the reality is the bank is just one option. I think that's one of the biggest things we want to drive home here. It's just one option. Let's not play the game of real estate by the bank's rules if we don't have to. The reality is we can find ways to raise capital and to do deals apart from the bank, because the bank is going to make sure they're protected, but they're just going to look at you as a number. Whereas the conversations we're talking about here, we're having face-to-face on the phone, building relationships. I know them, they know me, and we're continually building on a long-term basis, right? And so I'll keep going here. Andrew says, okay, I already answered that question. Let me keep going here. Justin actually said, I made my first offer after 1 week on Cashflow Tribe. Get one deal in the contract in the third week. Thanks to Auto Motivation Event. Dude, come on, man. That's what I'm talking about, Justin. I am so proud of you because we've been having conversations. We've been talking, and to see your development, man, is just it's just amazing. And this is exactly why we're pushing you guys for growth. If you're ready to take action, do what Justin did, do what Ian did, because it's the action on a consistent basis that will make the results inevitable. That's really awesome. I love that. And Nicole said the mastermind was amazing. I love it. Let's see here. Is the lender going to ask for a 12-month payment even if you stop at 6 months? You already answered that. Did you want to talk on that real quick, or you kind of?
No, guys, you just pay for what you use, and you'll probably pay a little bit of a penalty unless it's open. I do opens with my guys and girls, so they just pay for what they use, and then we just move the money into a new deal.
But isn't it amazing, Ben, that even if I only use it for 6 months, and I bring another deal and another deal and another deal, it doesn't really matter if that first deal was 6 months versus 12 months versus doing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 deals together?
Guys, it's all in your head. Listen, if you do one deal and you think it's good, it's good. If you do 10 deals and you think it's good, it's good. Sarbjeet says, is there such thing as growing too quickly? No, there's responsible investing. I know people that are doing 10, 20, 30 deals a month. I know other people doing one a year. It's about what do you want. If you guys are looking to build a real business and you want to be aggressive, there's no real right or wrong. It's about what you want and your relationships and your opportunities. Guys, I came out, even doing my first deal, coming out and doing wholesaling at the beginning, I did $750,000 the first year in wholesaling. So what's too much, right? As long as you're moving forward ethically and responsibly, you can do as much as your ambition allows you to do. So that's my answer.
Hey, Mike's got a great question here. He said, your example is 120K in today's value with a smart purchase with the equity built in. But Ben's lending 100% value based on a purchase price with no skin in the game from Daniel. Are there no issues from Ben?
What's the issue? He's got $30,000 of equity. See, guys, when you're a private lender, I really don't care about Daniel as much as I care about the deal. Private equity, if you think about what private equity stands for, the second word is equity, meaning the main focus is equity. So I'm looking at the equity in the deal. If Daniel pays full price, now he makes my job harder. Now I got to look at Daniel, his credit, his ability to repay if it goes bad. Guys, if it goes bad, I'll just take the property.
Yeah, 100%. And the reality is, like, Ben has done his due diligence where if he needs to take back the property and execute it, he doesn't need me. There is no dependence on me. It's really just about how do I protect my risk and make sure I can execute in the event he decides to walk away. And I think that's the biggest thing that he really and also the important thing to note is I didn't just come to Ben on the same day I met him and said, "Hi, here's a house, here's a picture, fund me." No, it's, "Hi, Ben, my name is Daniel. It's a pleasure to meet you. Here's a coffee. Here's this, here's that. Let me build a relationship and get to know you. Oh, by the way, I think I have an opportunity to make you money. Would you like to hear about it?" Do you see that approach is so much different when you're coming from a place of wanting to serve the lender in terms of what they're looking for? And honestly, in my experience, that's exactly how I got 100% financing. And so I really believe this is definitely something replicable that you could do. And so let's see if there's any more questions here. But before I get to the next question, I need to shout out Claudia Robinson because she is the winner for upgrading annual and taking action first. And so, Claudia, shout out to you. $200 in cash is going to you. I will make sure to get that to you tomorrow. Really appreciate you for taking action, and everyone else as well. Aman says, would you suggest approaching B lenders first prior to reaching out to private lenders?
Already ahead of you, man. Check the comments. Check the comments.
Come on, man. Hey, I got to catch up then.
Listen, if you're serious about this long-term, guys, build relationships with both. There's no one way or the other, okay? Yeah,
that's
build
fantastic.
Relationships with both.
That's it. And yeah, you already answered Tom's question. All right, guys, we're gonna. Fund Me says, Ben, would you do a condo off-market deal?
That's a tough question. What does that mean? A condo off-market? You'd have to be more specific for me. With what do you mean? Like brand new, full price? Is there equity, guys? If there's equity, I have options. Somebody asked about raw land. Raw land is tough because there's no possibility for cash flow. If you have a house, a property, something, there's some way we can turn it into a cash flow producing asset, even if it's not positive cash flow. But it's easier to go with just some kind of cash flow. So depends on the condo. It's situational.
That's awesome.
Guys, come join us, man. We'll be here. Those of you guys that are upgrading, congratulations. We'll see you soon. Really encourage you guys, take a step forward. I don't know if Daniel mentioned. Daniel, don't you have like a refund policy for people who have buyer's remorse?
Yes, we do. Yeah, and check it out for 7 days free. And you can get your money back if you absolutely don't find it worth your time. Definitely check it out, risk-free. Get at all the courses. I highly recommend you go through the homework, take action, and go through the courses and get in those groups, guys. Definitely have those conversations and start raising capital. We all need it. We all need to get it so we can buy properties and make money. That's what we're all here for, guys. So really appreciate you guys being here tonight. Shout out to Claudia again and everybody who signed up. Really excited to get to engaging with you guys, especially on that 2-day event. We'll talk soon. Ben, thanks so much. And shout out to Vinny again. Have a good one, everybody.
Have a great night, everybody. Cheers.